women aren't being believed as much, or the blame is on them for putting themselves in the situations. And I think like if we can all think about it differently, we can actually start to spot things and support people instead of going, well, how did that happen to them?
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the groundbreaking convo I had with Joy Hoover in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that interview, feel free to pause this now and go listen to that one, or listen to this one and then listen to that one. You can do whatever order you want, but it's one you have to listen to.
Whatever you want.
I mean, I say it on all the episodes, you got to go listen to it because, you know, we can only cover so much of what the guest said.
It's true.
But it's also like quite a unique, amazing thing. So today is August 14th, 2025, and it's got two things for you. I'm sure Brad wanted me to choose. I'm not going to do it. National Financial Awareness Day. So how much would you like to bet that most people don't know August 14th is National Financial Awareness Day?
Well, it's about betting. They were being cute. I think it's cute.
They still managed to say the date and the name.
100% of the time. They answer the question. They re-ask the question when they answer the question. Yes. Always.
It's more important than you think. And plus, what's more fun than financial independence?
What is more fun? Yay, Skippy.
Hey,
Woo-hoo.
You know what? Financial independence is literally the thing that if you have, you can do anything you want. You can leave any job, shitty relationship, shitty situation. Financial independence is like the thing.
Yeah.
I think it's more important than just like the ability to walk. You need to have financial independence.
It's funny because it sounds silly, but at the same time, it's not something that anyone ever talks about. Like no one, like you're not taught this stuff in school. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I think I was taught to balance a checkbook as if that did anything for me. But I think about Tia Levine's episode.
100% was thinking about that.
And I think about...
Yeah. If y'all don't remember, she was stuck in an abusive relationship where she had no control over the finances and she couldn't leave even though it was abusive because if she did, she would lose her kids. She would lose her kids because she didn't have any money to support her kids.
Yeah. This is where like a lot of people are like, oh, why don't they just leave? It goes back to like the Diddy stuff. Oh, they could have just left. No. When they're controlling your career, when they're controlling where you live and they're paying your rent and all these things, even if you think, oh, well, they did this, there's control there. There's not financial independence. And if we have to teach that, even if the person's not abusive, because there's plenty of people who are partners, who are parents, who are bosses who are non-abusive.
Sure.
But everybody deserves to have financial independence and financial awareness information so that they can make sure they're making the right decisions for themselves. And then they have options. Right?
Yeah.
You always have choices. Okay, back to why they want to educate us. So first off, think about that great feeling you get when you don't have the looming specter of debt hanging over you. Also, sound financial decisions can really make a difference down the road. Remember, retirement is a time to take all those vacations you couldn't when working the daily grind. I have so many problems with this day already because you shouldn't wait for a retirement to take those vacations, and don't let people tell you debt makes you bad.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, sure, debt can be looming, especially if it's like credit card debt that's keeping you bound.
Yes, because they control you.
Well, it's not just that. It's like it's oppressive to moving forward because you're just paying the interest. But at the same time, I think my relationship with debt changed when I became a business owner because it's part of a business is also, you can also have debt and you can manage that debt without it destroying everything.
A good credit score is because you can show that you can manage debt. That's what it is. It's not being debt free. It's managing debt. Yeah. Which okay. So there was good intentions with this day. Anyways, because money is important to our overall peace of mind, Financial Awareness Day is a great time to review where you are now and where you're going financially. Don't let bad financial decisions ruin the best years of your life.
Okay. So we're just going to stop reading this, but I think the points are still good. I think one thing that I'll tell you what I didn't do. I never reviewed my financial position. I didn't even know what that meant, right? I just knew that I needed to make enough money to get to the end of the month so that I could do it again, right? I never stepped back and was trying to look at oh, I have a car, the value of the car. Oh, I have a house, the value of the house, or whatever. I have a savings account, or I have been putting money in my savings account. Do I have a plan? Never had a plan before, the last couple of years, and now it's easy to get sidetracked from your plan. Right? It's very easy to get sidetracked from your plan unless you put things on an automated, your money comes in and then automatically things happen at the end of the month. It's easy to forget to slide money over into your retirement fund or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
And, so what you can do, which I think is really helpful, is to throw once a month review, just take a look at all the numbers. Take a look at it. Open up the credit card statement online, open up the bank account online, take a look at that. Log into your social security account. How weird is that to even say? Does anybody do that? I do that. Okay.
Yeah. I do it. I just don't. I don't know. At this moment in time we're recording, I doubt we're going to see any of it. But you should, I agree with you. It's important to be aware of where all your accounts are, what's in all of them. Don't be an ostrich. And also, please don't let the money stories of your parents or even your college years dictate what you think of yourself when it comes to money, because that attitude is not going to help you be it till you see it with financial success. Listen to our episode with Wealth with Tess.
Yes.
That is the episode I want you to listen to if this day resonates with you. Okay. Love your bookshop day. Of course, we have to talk about this because
Tess's episode was 352.
Wow.
352.
So Love Your Bookshop Day is celebrated every year, also on August 14th. It is a holiday that was founded by the Australian Booksellers Association. The aim is to appreciate bookshops around the country and highlight all the things that make local bookshops beneficial. An appreciation for books and encourages more people to read. Bookshops exist to serve the knowledge to the public, and that is a very important job. The more equipped bookshops are, the better quality of knowledge people can access to. In a time when books are being ordered online, the local brick and mortar bookshop needs all the support it can get. You guys, they don't sponsor the show, but bookshop.org, I think that's called. If you order your books through them, they send the money to support a local bookshop near you. And that, if you want to have that online ease, but also support a local bookshop.
Yeah,
I think
bookshop.
it's really, I also like that it's called a bookshop. So it's a bookstore. Anyways, go read a book. Go read a book that's going to inspire you. Maybe I'll add a book of the week.
Go sit in a bookshop coffee shop.
Oh my gosh. Have you been to the writer's block, babe?
No. In Vegas?
Yeah.
Have not.
Oh, they got a smoothie bar, coffee, cats walk around. Don't take my own. Cats walk around the coffee shop. Maybe they have birds. They think it's a bird sanctuary, not a cat sanctuary. Anyways, it is the coolest bookshop. And now listen to me. I'm going to call it a bookshop with my Australian accent. It's the coolest bookstore I've been to in a long time, but there's some other ones. And I actually want to start looking at some really cool bookstores when we start doing tours.
It's a bird sanctuary.
Yeah, bird sanctuary. You know how we we do vintage shops a lot? I think I want to switch that to really cool bookstores because there's some really cool bookstores out there. Okay, speaking of being on the road, we are on the road for a few more days. And so you can go to opc.me/tour because I think you can get, if there's anything left, you can get to Idaho, Salt Lake, or Las Vegas. opc.me/tour. Our winter tour will be announced in the fall, so stick around for that.
Yeah.
We're going to be home for a couple weeks, and then, babe, we're headed to
Wow.
In September, we're headed to the UK.
Yes. We're really fired up to be back to the UK. We actually have 2 stops we're doing this time. We're going to be in Leeds and in Essex. So come join us. If you are in London, we actually set it up where you could get a day pass with us.
I think there's even all our workshops. So if you are someone who just wants to do one workshop now.
Yeah, it might be. Go check it out. Go to opc.me/UK. We're going to be covering, it's mostly Pilates stuff. And then there's a couple of workshops. The workshops are skewed toward business, but they're not really business. It's like
Essex
managing your calendar. It's managing, how do you make an ideal schedule for yourself? And that, of course, can be used for business, but it's also, you don't have to run a business to pull some benefits from that. And then, anyway, we can't wait to be back. It's going to be awesome. In October, we're heading to Chicago.
Yeah, there's Bounce Bodies POT Chicago. And at the time of this this dropping, you can still get the early bird, 10% off if there's any spots left. I do know that at the time
Do you have a link for that?
Bounce Body, Pilates.com. Just look up POT Chicago.
Oh.
And it comes up. like it kind of just comes up. But anyways,
Yeah, of course.
It's a long link. However, when they emailed me last week, it was 75% sold out. So just so you know,
Cool.
Don't wait on that.
Yeah.
Then we're going to go from Chicago to Cambodia.
Yeah, directly. Literally don't even go home. We
Mhm.
just go straight through San Francisco to Cambodia. That's going to be amazing. And basically, we still got room and there's still time. It's only August. We're not going till October, right?
Oh, I know. People signed up for last one in December. We went
6
in
weeks
February.
ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had someone sign up 6 weeks ahead of time.
We had someone sign up 2 weeks ahead of time.
Oh, it was only 2.
The last October, my mom's
Yeah,
friend.
yeah, it was only 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
only 2.
yeah.
Mhm.
So anyway, yeah. So it's possible. There's still plenty of room. Come join us. It's going to be amazing. And then, randomly on the way home from Cambodia, we're going to be in Singapore.
Yeah. So we're going to see the botanical gardens and we're working on teaching a gig. So, Singapore, hi, we're coming.
Yeah, we're coming.
And then, of course, December's winter tour. We should be announcing all of that in the fall. So come October. If you want to host with us, reach out. The team will help you fill out the forms. And if we're on the path this year, yay. And if we're not, we'll save you for another time. But don't wait. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's
We'll
going to
see
be
you.
awesome. Before we get into this really interesting combo with Joy Hoover, also scary a little bit combo with Joy Hoover.
I know.
From the statistics were mind blowing. I was like, what in the hell? But before we get there, we got a question from Corinne _CA11, aka Corey, from IG. She asked, hey, how many days a week do you recommend weightlifting in addition to your Pilates practice?
Yeah. So okay.
Great question.
Great question. Personally, I lift weights 3 to 4 days a week and I do Pilates 4 to 5 days a week. Now, is that a scientific thing that you should be doing? I don't know. It really works for my schedule. I particularly like an extra day of Pilates compared to my weight training because I do feel like it keeps everything ready for the next one. Like weight training always makes my body feel a little bit heavy. I mean, of course I feel great in it and there's no knocks. Like I believe every woman does need to lift some weights, but my body feels heavy. And so Pilates kind of opens everything back up and readies it for the next time. And that's why I like it. But I will say, depending on what your goals are, you definitely, from what I've heard and what I've read, everyone should be lifting weights 2 to 3 days a week. And then I believe Pilates should be done 3 to 4 days a week. And that doesn't mean hour-long sessions. It doesn't have to be. The amount of minutes is not as important as the consistency and the quality of the movement. So 3 quality reps over 10 is always better when it comes to Pilates. And that's just my opinion. But I particularly really like it. And we taught in Santa Barbara a workshop on mat Pilates for strength training, people who strength train. And I actually taught everyone there how to do a 15-minute workout with 20 Pilates mat exercises that will benefit anyone who lifts weights. And you can literally do it after you lift all your weights at the gym, or you could do it before, or you could do it on your off days, or you could do it onto your zone 2 as a way to kind of stretch and move everything around. It's 15 minutes, full body workout, and it will absolutely improve your form and the results you're getting with your strength training. You can actually take a version of that workshop at fullbodyand15.com.
Yeah, fullbodyand15.com. Love that. By the way, that's free.
It's free.
And it'll help you learn the 5 major spine shapes of Pilates and create that 15-minute workout. So definitely dig in there. Great question, Corey. Thanks for that. If you have a question, text us at 310-905-5534, or because who can remember those phone numbers, go to beitpod.com/questions, beitpod.com/questions. Stick around. We'll be right back. We're going to dig into this combo with Joy Hoover. Okay. Now let's talk about Joy Hoover, who's our neighbor, by the way, temporarily, which is kind of cool. After experiencing a devastating family tragedy in 2013, Joy Hoover dedicated herself for 15 years in Vegas to improving women's safety, anti-trafficking, and fighting gender-based violence. She founded the nonprofit Cupcake Girls, which y'all probably know because we support them with profitable Pilates. And she later launched SOS Cosmetics. Pronounced SOS, it's spelled ESOES. The world's first patented smart lipstick featuring built-in drink testing strips and a panic button that is linked to a safety app. Her work has supported over 10,000 survivors and earned multiple awards and national media recognition. And it's quite clever.
You know what's funny is we just recapped David Corbin.
Yeah.
And you met Joy at the same exact event.
David.
Is that his name? We just
Oh, yeah.
You met them both at the same event.
So yes, David, I did. I actually had lunch with Joy, or I sat at a table with Joy. Yeah, it was lunch, and then David was after the event was over. You're right. What a great event that was.
Yeah, and it's funny because I didn't interview them near each other, but they're coming out next to each other, so that's hilarious. So we talk. I mean, first I just want to say that like, if you haven't yet listened to this episode and there is like violent talk in there, there are some topics that could be triggering or activating in some people. So do take caution when you listen to it. But I do think it's really important to listen to because I want to highlight a couple parts of her story that have nothing to do, well, they have a lot to do with all the things, but like you can see yourself in those stories. So when she and her husband had their first kid, his dad killed his mom and they just had a baby. And so can you imagine being new parents and then like dealing with like not just the loss of a parent, but like.
I think she said that their daughter was like 8 days old.
Yeah.
And they had to fly across the country.
Yeah.
To
and just
handle that.
I mean, of course, so tragic, but for them to not let that define them, but instead allow them to carve a path that could help them use their story to support other people with different stories in them is really, really cool. And I think a lot of times we have these tragic things happen in our lives and they become the story we tell ourselves that's held us back. Oh, I've lost 7 people in my life. Oh, this happened. And I don't want to discount those things. Those are, especially like when you have abuse like that, ends in that way, it's devastating. But I do think that like.
She said it was happening for like 40 years.
Yeah. And that's really hard to grow up around, to experience, to have relationships and other things. And so I just want to say like, I think that their story and other people's stories that are similar, where they persevered through that, it changed who they are as parents and also how they raise their children, but also how they see other people. Because I think it's so easy to judge, like, why didn't she leave? Or why, like we talked about this earlier with the financial stuff, like, why didn't this? And it's like, some of this stuff has been going on for so long, you don't think it will ever turn to something that bad, right? So, and then the other thing that I want to highlight that happened to them is they started SOS, really cool company, invest their life savings to like make this product that's going to help.
Raise money, like had friends and family help support.
It's going to help people who need access to support wherever they are. And obviously women, this is what the product is for, but we all need this. It can be helpful for anybody, but they had a fire, like a freak electrical situation in their roof. First of all, the product helped get the fire department there. You have to listen to the story. It's insane.
Faster than calling 911.
Yes, faster than calling 911. This product, they were able to press the panic button and get the fire department there, which the fire department said if they had been any minute later, they would have lost the whole house.
Yeah.
So they got to keep the framework. Anyways, there's a lot going on there, but they lost all the product.
Yeah.
However, because they had to start from scratch and they already had customers and they'd already been going through it, they used it as an opportunity to make it even better. Sure. And I share this because like so many times, like,
I mean, how deflating would that be? That like, not only do you lose your house, but all your business at the exact same time.
I don't even know how you just go get a job at Costco.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how you go, let me do this again.
Let me start over.
After
everything burned
while
down.
I'm not living in my own home. Like, let me just start this over. While like all that's going on, I'm not going to lie. Like, I think I seriously would have got a job at Costco because I could get my steps in. I hear good things. The hot dogs are $1.50. Like, I think I would have just like packed it in. But instead, they use it as an opportunity to make the product even better. Yeah. And I think as a business owner or someone who's working on a new project, like we think we have to get it right from the first time, the first start, the first iteration has to be the best one. And actually, like most people's first ones are not the one that goes to market. In fact, we had
how many websites have we rebuilt?
Don't tell me. But you know what? Like even our mat deck, right? Like we have changed the mat deck, our mat flashcard deck, because we put it out there. Yeah. We sold 3,000 decks, and then we printed a new version of it because we have all the feedback we got, and then also how we know other people use the other decks.
Yep.
Ken Indelman said that Joe Pilates, a lot of his sketches and his patents that he sent in and not really sent in, but he pretended like he did, those are not things he went to market with. He's like, you don't usually go to market with the first one.
Right.
Like you use that to get the patent, but that's not what you go to market with. And so I think
even now we've just made another change to the flashcard deck boxes, because every time we learn something new, we're like, oh, we need to add that on, or we need to do this, or we should adjust this, or whatever.
Oh yeah, we have to made in the USA.
Yeah.
On our boxes.
How did we miss that? 5 years. We never
Clearly
realized.
it wasn't like, I remember my dad like going, does it say made in the USA? No, you can't have it. So I don't even know how like had skipped my brain when we were printing it, but apparently it's a thing. Anyways, I just point this out because even if you don't think the topic applies to you, you think, oh, I'm not going off having first dates, or I'm not interested in this. Every single one of us is going to do a first again.
Yeah.
And then get frustrated because it didn't work. And honestly, it's because you're supposed to go with the second thing or the third iteration.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the tech part of it. It is proximity or like as well. So if somebody else in a room, if you are on the app and someone else in the room pushes the button, you will get notified as well.
Yeah.
So like, you
can
might
support
not
other people.
necessarily be you personally who might be in that scenario, but it could be that you're in the proximity of someone who needs help. So
yeah, and this is like
just
where
interesting.
Where like, we always think we can be an alert for other people, but it's hard to be an alert when you can't see the signs. Like we've talked about like somebody like choking, you can see actual signs. They are choking, they need help.
Sure.
But when someone feels unsafe on a date or at a meeting or walking down the street, you can't tell oftentimes that they feel unsafe. And this is a very discreet way, a very discreet tech that allows them to say, I'm not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And other people to be able to be witnesses or support in that. Yeah. So I think it's really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Like a lot going on there. I think I have something else I wanted to talk about, but just the fact, first off, how the hell is it possible that they build a relationship with the emergency services where pressing a button on a lipstick container would get the fire department to her house faster than calling 911? Like,
yeah.
What? How did they do that? I didn't even know that.
Joy,
I don't even know how
inquiring
that's
minds want to
possible.
know, but obviously like that might be like, confidential information because I want people to know. Not because like maybe they're not allowed to say, maybe it's an NDA, but
no,
we called 911 and got put on hold.
What? But it also makes you realize that clearly there are systems that can be tapped into, and they were able to figure that out. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I would have imagined.
It makes me think of what's the Italian Job where Seth Green's character is like tapping into like Napster is like tapping into like the red lights. Oh, that's a red light. That's a green light. Clearly there's
sorry, I won't start until you address me as Napster.
Yeah. There's clearly like something. But I also
callback.
just want to say like, if you haven't yet listened to the episode, you want to listen to it, you could understand what the product is. And you can also see it on our YouTube channel. It's quite cool. And I think an excellent gift for every woman in your life, even if they're married. It's you because she talks about using it for like a kid she saw on the street. So
yeah,
anyways.
she said she and her husband saw a kid with no shoes in Vegas, walking down a sidewalk or whatever, and she's like, "There's something wrong here, clearly."
Yeah.
So but yeah, I mean, it's anyway. The tech part is fascinating and really really fancy, and then of course they have. It's lipstick, so presumably they will have different colors at some point.
Yeah, there's a whole thing. I mean, she's done a great job.
And then, but anyway, she was talking about blame culture.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And she was talking about how there's a crazy number of people who have experienced drink spiking where, I was looking up a bunch of stats and like at the very least 10% of women have reported it saying like, I either had my drink spiked or I saw someone spike someone else's drink.
It's often, I think the number is so high because like,
well, that's only like people who have actually reported it, and then there's polling that has happened where, that's not necessarily reported to.
Well, because can you imagine if nothing, or you don't know if anything happened to you? Like I have just in all the podcasts I listened to, like people have called the cops and the cops are like,
they don't do shit.
They don't do fucking shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not against police, guys. What I am against is this culture of like not believing women. It goes to this blame stuff. Like, what were you wearing? What were you doing? Like if you're
or it's like, did they threaten you?
Yeah.
Like I guess maybe I don't know what actually this is interesting. If what do you need to say to get them to pay attention? That would be something that would be worth finding out. I don't know the answer to that.
I mean, just there's a
well, because here's like my personal experience was. I had somebody threaten me when I was living in LA, right? Mm-hmm. And I was afraid and I didn't know what to do. So I called the police, and it wasn't an emergency. He wasn't he wasn't at my door, but I called them and I said, "Hey, I don't know what to do here, but like this guy's threatened me, and he might be on his way over right now. I don't know what to do." And they were like, "Did he threaten to kill you?" And I was like, "He didn't say I'm going to kill you." And they were like, "We're not going to do anything."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Like he's making me feel like I'm in trouble.
Well, I just listened to, I was listening to like a Dateline or something like that, and they brought up the story about this woman, Denise, who was kidnapped from her home and then like taken away for several days and then told not to tell anyone, and they called her the American Gone Girl, like the real life Gone Girl. They didn't believe her boyfriend. They said he must have done it. He must have done it. They didn't believe her. They tried to charge her with a crime. They tried to say that they like wasted the police time. Then come to find out 2 other victims called separate police departments to claim the same thing, and those police departments didn't believe them. Why would anyone do that? Like, didn't believe them. So I am with you. Like, we need to know, what do cops need to hear so they actually believe what you're saying? But also, like, I think
like
it just goes.
Like, that's a common experience among survivors, is that they're like, I wasn't believed, right?
Yeah.
And like the number of people who in polling have said, hey, yes, I've experienced drink spiking, is like, could be like super high. It could be as high as 1 in 2 women.
Yeah.
Right. And anyway, like when you put it all together, there's clearly a problem. It's fucked up that there's a problem, but there is a problem. Right. And then when women aren't believed, and it doesn't actually just have to be women having their drink spiked.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody could have their drink spiked.
I listened to a podcast, Bad Dates. Many men get their drink spiked.
Yeah. But if it's reported and it's not believed, what does that teach the person who reported it?
Yeah.
That they're not going to try to even report it next time. What's the point is what they're going to say.
Well, and that's what puts you people in not so great situations where by the time something does happen, it's a little too late to get help. But I think like what, she talked a little bit like changing the shift of shame from the survivor to the perpetrator and making that the focus. And I think when you use a product like they have, or you educate women or men in this way of like, what does it mean to like, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
It really is more empowering, because now you, especially like so many people have fear about like, well, what if something goes wrong on the date? What happens if something goes wrong in the interview? What if something goes wrong at the house showing? Like, we can take some of the fear away and put some control back in the hands of the person who might become a victim of something, and we can hopefully stop that or mitigate that.
Yeah. And obviously, Joy and her company are very aware of all of the stigma. So they've been intentional about their names of their products. Like one of them is called We Believe You. It's not the dress, like stuff like that, which speak directly to the real problem, which is the blame game.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think it's like, unfortunately we're recording this like right after like some of the Diddy trials and Weinstein's retrial. And like, it starts to make you think that like, the Me Too movement kind of like didn't have the effect that we thought it would have, and women aren't being believed as much, or the blame is on them for putting themselves in the situations. And I think like if we can all think about it differently, we can actually start to spot things and support people instead of going, well, how did that happen to them? Like with a judgment, things can happen to anybody at any time in this world. And since we can't actually stop these perpetrators because we don't know who they are, what we can all do is band together and be part of a support system of being there for people, whether we know them or not, and just being a safety for them. And also not assuming it's what they wore or what they did at a certain time, or why would you be on that street? Like all that stuff is unhelpful. And
it doesn't solve the problem anyway.
No, it doesn't. So anyways, we can get our high horse on this forever, but I do love what Joy's doing. And I think this product is really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, driven by clear problem that needs a solution. And, it's just really, really clever. And, if you actually go look at the lipstick, it's pretty innocuous. You wouldn't there's no like press here, like Acme button kind of a thing. It's quick, easy. And then what I thought was also cool is you can set it so that if I think there's settings. If you click it once, you can alert one person. If you click it twice, you can alert a different person.
You can set up the different things in the app for what to do. And one of our neighbors, her daughter was going off to EDC Daughter's 19 years old, going to
Oh.
EDC. And of course, the mom wants her daughter to go to EDC. Like, you should experience festivals when you're 19. She had this product and she had a Narcan thing so she could be there in case someone needed it, right? Like Narcan for somebody who's overdosing. But she had this product to make sure that her own stuff was safe and that she could be safe so she could enjoy herself and be at EDC.
Right.
You know, I'd love for a 19-year-old to live in a place where she could just go to a festival and be fine. We don't live in that world. So I love that she was empowered to have a good time and also take care of herself and her friends.
That's really cool.
Mhm.
That's cool. All right. Well, stick around. We'll be right back as Joy gave us a couple of really amazing Be It action items. We're going to dig into those. All right. Welcome back. So finally, let's talk about those Be It action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Joy Hoover? She said, hold space for yourself. This came from her conversation around the collective trauma that she and her husband and, daughter experienced. Although her daughter was only 8, but with her in-laws, right? And she said immediately after it happened, they started to get therapy as a couple, and they've maintained, therapy since. And that was 2013. So it's been a while, right? And she said, prioritizing your healing, it puts you in a position to help others without inadvertently hurting them, right? Like she said, and the call out here was, you have to heal yourself first. You can't heal the world if you're not healing yourself first, right? And she said something very She said it's not about your intention, right? It's about your impact, and you could have the intention of helping people, but actually be hurting them. So you need to heal yourself first before you're going on to support others in that kind of a way. She said also, it's not selfish. She said it is selfish to not heal yourself first. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's selfish if you don't take care of yourself.
I mean, we know
right?
I love this.
Yeah. And this is like obviously right up our alley, and
do you know what I read the other day in one of my morning reads, and I am like now preaching it? Because I always say like self-care isn't selfish care, right?
Sure.
So self-care is actually an act of self-love. And if you do not love yourself, you actually cannot love other people. Can't. You can feel like you're loving on them and supporting them and liking them, but like you actually can't truly love others because you don't love yourself. And the hatred and vitriol we're seeing in this world today, online and other places, is just because a bunch of people don't love themselves. And we're like, the world needs love. You got to love yourself first. You cannot just like go on. You can't just spread yourself thin. And I think that act of therapy is an act of self-love. It's an act of self-care. It's very important. It's not selfish. You're right.
Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so she said she encouraged us all to join the Swipe Red movement. The core slogan of the movement is no more shame, no more doubt. We see red flags, we call them out. And so you can contribute to the community awareness if you just go to SOS Cosmetics, and that's at ESOEScosmetics.com. And it provides platforms for community engagement. You can submit experiences you had so others can recognize and respond to similar threats. I think that's really important because sometimes you have not experienced a red flag. But if you hear about other people's, you go, oh, and then you can see the signs.
It's funny because I get a weekly email forwarded from my mom.
Oh, okay.
Who gets notifications from her company about cybersecurity threats, right? And what people have done to trick other people into giving away information that eventually could hurt them, right? And so it's the same idea here.
Yes.
This the community platform that they've put together is a way to just become more educated and be aware.
Yeah.
So I love that.
And also in that community, you can ask for guidance on your own red flags. You can submit a question to inquire if the situation is a minor ick or a significant red flag. Here's the thing. I love this because, 12 years ago, my therapist was like, yeah, miss, you ignored the red flags in your relationship. So you need to go back into your memory box about those first dates and what flags did you ignore that were red so that you can spot them as you date. And then you have to practice, like, how red is this flag? Is this an orange flag? Is it a yellow flag? What kind of flag is this? And I love this because you don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it with other people. You can use other people's red flags to help you. So I think it's really cool. I think it's cool on what a unique beat action I am. So I'm in. Really cool. I hope everyone goes and checks us out. Again, like it can be a great gift for a woman in your life or a person in your life, but also just like to be aware of what's going on. It's so easy for us to think it won't happen to us.
Sure.
And this stuff, like some people, I've heard people go, oh, I'm too old for that. Like it won't happen to me.
Not
and like,
necessarily.
I worry the fuck out of like my mom and women her age who are dating. I'm like,
Yeah.
like, no, there are things that can happen to you. I remember my 80-year-old client's like, oh, I can't get pregnant. I'm like, yeah, but you can get crabs, babe. Like what? You can't just be like, life's good now. I don't have anything to worry about. No, bad things happen to good people. You have to be aware. So thanks, Joy, for what you're doing. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
How are you going to use these tips in your life? Please let us know. Let Joy Hoover at SOS Cosmetics know. Let the Beit Pod know. Share this with a friend who needs to hear it.
Yeah.
I think it's a great episode to share with a friend. Yes,
Totally.
there's some information that can be hard to listen to, but I think it's really important. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time.